Hey everybody, happy full moon. Today, as of this morning, the full moon is in Sagittarius, and because the full moon is in May, I believe it is called a flower moon. And I'm going to be making some changes to my channel, just some little changes. I'm going to be changing the direction of where we're going to go, and I thought, why not kick it off with a full moon healing video, which is the direction that things are going to be going in on this channel, is more of the healing aspects. So taking in the insight and the guidance from higher selves, from energies, from just the universe, and instead of just portraying how things are going to go and what's going on with you, also connecting with truly what's going on with you on an energetic and vibrational level, and then sharing words that will activate you at that level to transform you and release whatever blocks are there, and also build in some beliefs that maybe not build in beliefs, because when you let go of the energetic blocks within you, all of the positive beliefs naturally rise up because they're always there. We just tend to block it from ourselves. So it's not really building in the beliefs, but really like solidifying those beliefs with more words of activation. So usually with the full moon, I believe that is a time when you start to release things in your life that no longer serve you. So maybe there's some mental patterns that you've been having in your mind that you realize no longer serve you. They're more of a detriment to you. So you try to let those go. Maybe there are people in your life or how you interact with those people. Maybe there's some habits that you have. Maybe it could be a whole slew of different things that you no longer feel serve you. Maybe there's certain choices that you tend to make that don't really help you. Anything along those lines. And so that's usually how I think you tend to celebrate a full moon, or really harness the energy of a full moon. But I think what I'm really going to do today is do both aspects. So yes, we're going to go into Sagittarius and the Sagittarius moon and what the energy represents now, between now and when we hit the new moon. And yes, there is the aspect of trying to let go of things that no longer serve us. So we are going to touch on that, but I also want to do the other side of it, which is harnessing that energy, not just to help us release things, but harnessing the benefits of the energy and what it's here to give us, and then kind of inbuilding that into our energetic and vibrational systems, so that throughout this period between the full moon and the new moon, we can listen to this video and have the words activate us throughout that, and we can really get the benefit of what is going on around us. So the Sagittarius energy, from what I'm picking up, is it tends to be more of an optimistic type of energy. But I think that recently the Sagittarius energy really hasn't been very optimistic. It's actually been very pessimistic, dark, kind of down. And so what this full moon is really about is helping us reopen ourselves and our channels, and allowing back in the optimism and letting go of that pessimism that we've been holding on to. So in terms of what we want to let go of for this full moon, we want to let go of some of those more negative thought patterns that we've been having, some of those holding on to maybe things that have hurt us, or things that we want to express but we don't want to say it. We want to keep it bottled in, and allowing ourselves to feel happy and optimistic because we don't want to get hurt or disappointed later. So now is the time to let go of those types of energies, the things that we've been holding on to because we're afraid of getting hurt, because we're in a more pessimistic state of mind, and then allowing in the optimism of the overall Sagittarian energy that tends to be there, letting that in, letting that soothe us, letting that lift our spirits back up, letting that allow us to see the world in a more positive light, and see it more for what's really there. So the reason why I say what's positive is what's really more there than what's negative is because, have you ever been in a situation, maybe when you were younger, where you got really upset, like really angry, and all of a sudden you felt like you had this clarity of mind, like you got so angry, you're like, I cannot believe I haven't noticed this before, but now I'm thinking clearly and this is over. And then you think in that moment of anger that you have a sense of clarity, but you don't, because the moment you start feeling better again, you think, what did I do? Why did I react that way? And so that's why I want to say that the more positive side of the Sagittarian energy, the optimism, is really the way you want to start looking at the world. And so that's why we really want to take the benefit of the energy of the moon in Sagittarius right now and really pull that in within ourselves and align ourselves to it so that we can really get that more positive outlook. So I do really want to bring in that optimistic energy, but let's start with releasing some of that pessimism that may be within us and what we're holding on to, and release it so that we can be even more open to the optimism that is around us. So basically all you guys have to do is listen to what I'm going to say, and it may or may not make sense to you, but regardless, the words I'm saying are connected to you and your spirit, and so they're for your utmost good, and then also they will sink in on some level whether or not it is conscious and allow you to start releasing a lot of that. And then when we move on to the bringing in of the energies, it will allow you to bring in some of those really positive energies of this time period. So if you guys are having any negative thought patterns about other people that are around you, that doesn't mean they have to be physically around you. They could be somebody that you observe on Facebook, in a Facebook group, somebody who may be putting out content that you tend to see, somebody who may be saying things, somebody who may be wearing certain clothes, and you may or may not be looking at them and not really judging them on a conscious level, but on a more subtle level, being kind of annoyed by them for some reason. And there's really no reason for it. They haven't done anything to you. They haven't done anything that anybody else isn't doing. They're really just being themselves and putting out what is their message and their voice. But for some reason, it's kind of annoying you a little bit, and so you are kind of judging them. Like, it's not conscious necessarily, like I was saying. So in that case, it's really important to just kind of realize that whatever they are doing that is annoying you is a reflection of something in yourself that you may be annoyed about. Now, it may not be that, like, oh, this person is doing X, and then you're annoyed because you also do X, and you just don't realize it. What may actually be happening is this person is doing X. They're putting out this kind of message, this kind of wording, this kind of picture, and you just kind of get annoyed. You see it, you don't even read it. Sometimes you skim it, but it's there, and then you're just like, I just kind of want to go past it, you know, but it has some kind of emotional feeling as you go past it. What actually may be happening is this person is doing something that you want to do, but you don't realize you want to do it yet. When you look at it, you think, I don't want to do it like that. Those aren't the words that I would use. That's not the energy I would put out. That's just not what I would talk about. But on some level, the reason why it's bothering you is because they are putting their message out there, and you want to put your message out there too. But you're not, because you're not entirely sure what your message is just yet. And so you see them putting out a message, and it's annoying because you want to put out a message, but you don't know what it is yet. And so you're just seeing this, and you're mentally or emotionally seeing it as, I'm annoyed by this person, I don't like what they say. Not that extreme, but you know, it's subtly there, when really you're kind of annoyed because you don't know what you want to say. So sometimes in these healings there is homework, and here's where the homework comes into play. In order to continue to help release this within you, what you guys should be doing is you guys should be, if you have the opportunity to, you should actually reach out to this person and try to befriend them. And if you don't have the option to do that, they're just not like in the realm of being friends, like maybe they are like a mentor or a business coach, or you know, somebody that you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to be buddy-buddy with, then learn more about them. Basically, the object of this is that you should learn more about this person, because through that you will gain a better understanding of who they are and what their message is and why they are the way that they are, why they're saying the things that they're saying. And through that understanding, that annoyance will be lifted. A lot of healing just in general comes from building that understanding with other people, and this will allow you to do that and really release whatever's going on there within you. And as you get to know this person, because you're releasing this energy, you will start to discover what your own voice and your own message is. You will start to gain a lot more clarity. This person may actually have things that they're saying that you resonate with, that if you started to get more inundated by what they're saying and their energy, you would start picking up on things that they're saying that resonate with you and your message. And you don't have to say the same thing, you don't have to do the same things, but you'll start getting ideas, and in your interactions with them, you'll actually discover more about yourselves and you'll find that message. And so, yeah, this healing right now is automatically releasing a lot of that. If you would like to go further, I would recommend doing the homework, and then that will continue to release and allow you to really hone in on your message. Although I think that as you listen to this, you will also be able to hone in on your message. So it's up to you, but I really think that it's nice to follow the guidance of the blocks that are within us, because sometimes following the homework, doing the action part of it, can really lead to some very interesting results. And so you don't know. This could be somebody who could be a really important part in your development, a really important part in your life. And you guys may have some kind of bond that you don't even realize that you have. I think a lot of times we have bonds with people who really just annoy us, push our buttons, force us to have to find peace within ourselves. They knock us off balance and we have to find peace. They knock us off balance, we have to find peace. And that could be a very powerful soul relationship, because it's teaching you to really become more solid in yourself. Because if you can be knocked off balance so easily, then obviously you have some work to do within yourself. And so they're kind of reflecting to you in that way. So yeah, like I think that this could be a very important person in your life if there's somebody who could be a friend, and then if there's somebody who's more of a mentor style type of person, or somebody that you really can't be friends with, learning more about them and still building that understanding is going to give you the same effects. And I think another thing that may happen is if this person really isn't somebody that you're supposed to resonate with, they will just, through your releasing of this and letting go of this emotion that's holding you back, that you're internalizing, and opening yourself up to this person, I think that this person may end up fading out of your life and disappearing. I'm not saying that they're necessarily a big part of your life right now, right? There's somebody that you kind of see, but they will kind of start to disappear from your life. And yeah, like that, and through that, even though they have left your life, I think that you will have gained, like you will have really up-leveled in your life. You will have really, through this, I think that you will have grown a lot. And I don't just mean on a spiritual level or like energetic level. I also mean in terms of the physical level. I think that you will get a lot of clarity. And I think that you will be in a different place in your goals and in your business than you were before. I think that you will have learned something out of this, whether it's just internal and it's manifesting outwardly, or whether it's through this interaction with this person. But I think that you will be in a very different place, a much better place, a much more evolved place, much clearer place than you are right now. So like I said, I also wanted to focus on harnessing the energy that we have right now, and not just releasing, but harnessing it and pulling the energy in, so that as you listen to this over the next few days between the full moon and then the new moon, you will really be able to kind of embody this energy and reap the benefits of the celestial bodies that are sending this energy around you. So in order to harness the energy, what I'm getting is that you don't have to try so hard. I think that it's been a little bit difficult and you've maybe struggled, but you don't really have to. Because with the energy, the optimistic energy of the Sagittarius full moon, and just in general, when we really just let go and try to feel our best, things start to become clearer to us. They start to fall into place. And if you've been in this mode where you're feeling, wishy-washy, feeling like you're just floating along in life but not really doing anything concrete, not really going in any direction, I think that's okay. I think that's an uncomfortable feeling to have, but I think that's okay, because I think that that time is starting to come to an end. I think that you're already starting to get clarity. I think that things that seemed too fluffy, too vague, to up in the air to intangible are starting to become a lot more tangible, starting to become a lot more clear. I think your next steps are starting to fall into place. The path is starting to open up before you, and you know what your next steps should be. And still, there may be some things that need to be figured out, but you have a pretty good general idea. And I think that as you kind of listen to this, and as we do more of this letting in of the positive energy, because I am feeling that there's more there, so we're going to do another one. More of that path will start to get clear and solidify. Now, as it really starts to become clear, that's great. And I think it'll be so clear to where, so the thing about plans is plans tend to change. The plan that you set forth in motion now tends to not be the plan that you're actually following maybe 2 months later, because a lot has changed. There's new information, something didn't work out, you're doing a different direction. The plan tends to change, and that's perfectly fine. I think that with you guys, you have already been in this mode of the plan just really not being there or really not being solid. And now it's become clear. Now it's becoming clear and clear. And I think that for a little while, you will be able to follow this plan and just execute. And you've earned it because you've been in this place of really not knowing what to do and just floating around. And that's an uncomfortable place. But I think that you guys handled it well. I think you really handle it well. You handle it to the best of your ability, and that's all that can ever be asked. And now you're going to have a plan that's laid out for you that you can really start to follow. If you want to change it, that's fine, but I think that you should trust that plan because it has been in the making for you, and now you're ready to receive it. It may feel uncertain to you still, but the path is there, and you are making progress. And so it is okay to feel good. It is okay to feel optimistic. It is okay to be happy because things are starting to develop for you and things are starting to come into place for you, and you are making progress. You are moving forward. And yes, sometimes you may look back and wonder, is this really the right path? What's going on? Like, how did I really get here? How have I been making these steps forward? I don't really know how I'm making this all come together, but you are making it come together. So don't get so caught up in the how you're doing it. Just do it. Keep moving forward. Stop questioning yourself because you've earned this. You're moving forward. So really just do your best to just follow what you really feel you need to be doing next, what you really feel you need to be doing next. And just keep following that path forward and trust yourself. Trust yourself to know what that next step is going to be. And sometimes the next step isn't always what is obvious to other people. It's really what you know to be true and know to be right for you. So trust yourself during this time period. I don't think you've been able to trust yourself in a little while because you've felt like you've been floating all over the place. I think that you guys have trusted yourself, which I think is really good, but it has been difficult. And just keep trusting yourself because the trust that you put into yourself before is still paying off for you, right? It's leading you down this path of joy, this path that's going to get you to where you want to be, even if you don't necessarily know exactly where you want to be or how this path is going to get you there. But it is going to land you to where you want to be. It's going to land you to the next step to where, it's just all going to continuously flow from there. I think there may have been some people who have been very difficult towards you, challenging to be around, challenging to have in your life, who are starting to exit your reality. But I think a lot of them will actually come back, and they'll come back anew and different. And so that is another area where I think you should just trust how things go and trust that you have developed yourselves, and that when people come back into your life, they can't be the same person anymore because you have shifted. And so you're calling to you a completely different kind of person, different kind of individual, different kind of experience. So just kind of trust in yourself and know that yes, there have been some difficult people in your life who were finally starting to fade away, whether that's for better or for worse. I think it probably has been for the better for you. I think you've been ready for them to kind of leave leave you in peace. And now they're gonna possibly come back, but I think they're gonna come back anew. That doesn't mean that they're perfect, but it does mean that they want to start things on a different foot, on a different note. They want to try to be better, and they have their own development to go through on their own. And so that's understandable that it's not always going to be perfect. They are still going to make some gafus, snafus, whatever the word is, but they are different, they are trying, and so that is something definitely to appreciate. So this is going to be a bit of a shorter healing, but because I didn't want to make this video too long, but I am feeling like you are releasing a lot of the things that you've been holding on to, and you are allowing in a lot of that optimism. So I would encourage you to listen to this maybe once or twice between now and then the new moon, just to kind of harness that energy and kind of solidify a lot of this within yourselves. And I think that you'll start to feel better, and like some of the weight off your shoulders has been lifted. And I think that with situations or people that have annoyed you, that you will either feel more detached about it and not as triggered by it as you have been before, or you may actually feel a lot more engaged with that person and see them in a different light and actually really like them, whereas before you may not have really been as interested in them or found them to be particularly likable. The things that, or the people that stay in your life after this are the things and people that need to stay there for better or for worse. And the thing about that also though is that even if it seems like it's for worse, there is a real love bond there with you and that person or those people, or you and whatever it is, the situation that is sticking around. There's some kind of love bond there. And so it is not necessarily for the worse, even if it seems that way. And I think that you may be feeling some stress, and so it's important for you and your higher selves to keep in mind that things are getting sorted. They will get sorted, and there's a lot of complexities energetically that are going on, and that's why it can be stressful, is because it just seems like there's this big mishmash of energy and connections and just everything being wrapped around and entwined and intertwined, and all of that is going to get sorted. It always does get sorted. And so yeah, just hearing that should kind of help activate you emotionally and mentally and spiritually to where that will release some of your stress and start allowing more of that things getting sorted to start to fall into place. I think that there may have been things that have happened that didn't really go well, but it's really not that big a deal. It's not as big a deal as maybe you're making it, or as somebody who was there is making it out to be. And that person may be making out to be a really big deal by either giving you the cold shoulder or by really like being on about it and trying to make you feel worse about it. But it's really not that big a deal, and I don't really know why they're doing that. I think they're doing that really more to really just bug you and kind of get on your nerves, because they have insecurities of their own that they just aren't really in control of. And when I say they're not in control of it, they are in control. They can be. It's a choice, but they're not making that choice. They're taking out their own frustrations on other people, and right now that just so happens to be you. And they may actually even do that to you very often, where you tend to be their personal punching bag whenever something goes wrong. But really, it's not you that's making something go wrong. It's them and whatever is going on within them. But they just find it really easy to blame other people, and in this case, you. And to you, it may seem like, yeah, I guess it was kind of my fault because I was in charge of something. Maybe that was some kind of situation. But they are able to take charge too. It doesn't just always have to be you. And they have ownership in this too. And if they're a boss or something like that, or a donor or an investor, whoever it is, they also have a responsibility because they're in this with you too. And if it reflects on them, they should also be taking responsibility. They can't be accountable for something and then not be a responsible party in it, right? They can't be accountable for something but then blame it on somebody else and call them accountable, because ultimately they are accountable. So yeah, I wouldn't let that bother you too much. That may be hard to do when they're there, but as we talk about this, it's starting to release a lot of that energy as well within you. So yeah, just kind of leave them to their own devices and kind of deal with them if you have to, and maybe just say, okay, yeah, sorry. But kind of try to remove yourself from that situation as much as possible. Say what you need to say to just kind of like let them kind of be on their merry way, but really that is something that they need to deal with, and that's not something you need to deal with. And the more you get invested in these emotions of being caught up in them trying to make you feel guilty or them trying to blame you, the more you really buy into that, the more that, like, the harder it is for you to be able to go off and find a better opportunity. So for you, you need to release that. This is helping you release that. Deal with them as you can, and then as you release that, it will start opening up doors with other people that you can work with who are better, maybe a different kind of person who can be your main interface versus this person who is just way better, just like a lot nicer, more genuine, more caring, more understanding, more playful, versus this other person who's just been kind of just, I don't know, really just not fun, just really kind of always has a stick up their butt somehow. So yeah, this will kind of open that up for you, and there are other opportunities, so just also keep that in mind. Just don't make any moves necessarily, but opportunities will show up, and when they do, that's when you can make your move. But until then, just allow this to kind of help release and allow your optimism to come back in and start filling you in as you release some of this old patterns and these old baggages that are around you. I think that the situation that you're in can have some impactful consequences if you don't handle it right. Like, you could lose your job, you could lose a major client, you could lose an investor, you could lose something that really could impact your life, and so you feel stuck in this situation. But I just want to let you guys know, just release it, just listen to this, just release, just let go, and this should open up some new opportunities for you. This may not entirely completely release you just because it's such a short healing, and I like to go into more depth, like more layers on one specific topic. But I think this will already start to open up those channels for you, and then you'll start to see more opportunities start flooding in, and then that will carry you forward, and you will start to become more optimistic. And then you can come back and watch another one of my videos, and it will further open you up so you can keep that momentum of better and better things coming your way as you move away from this other person. So just want you guys to know that the situation is impactful, is something that can impact your life if you don't handle it the right way, but everything is okay. And yeah, just like do your best to kind of relax in the situation, understand that it's not you, it's them. It really is. And yeah, just really relax and allow some of the good things that are ready to come your way to come your way. So yeah, this is a what's the word, like a sample of some of what's going to be happening on this channel, some of these healings that are going to help you activate all layers of you, where I connect with your spirit side, and then on the mental side we go into more of those beliefs and thoughts and patterns that are holding you back, and then we really get at it from an emotional, vibrational aspect of it, and so it has that full alignment. So yeah, I will catch you guys in my next video.